Going on, family? We made it to another Friday, man. So I know I say that most Fridays, don't I? But I say that, man, because somebody didn't. So, you know, appreciate, man, what you have. Appreciate where you are and where you could be. But now, man, you know, while I was working out this morning, I had a thought running across my mind. I wanted to share it with y'all, man. You know, it's a lot of people that I had to, I ain't gonna say pleasure because it ain't really been a pleasure, but I've had the misfortune. Let's that's a good word, misfortune. I've had the misfortune of knowing these people. They hover around your life like a helicopter, right? And they land when they decide they're gonna land, right? They get involved when it's gonna benefit them. They see you doing better, they see things going well for you, right? Then they want to get involved. And a lot of times, these people be the ones that be responsible for the misjudgments that happen to you. You know what I'm saying? You be wondering to yourself, man, who put that out? Especially if it's something negative, you know, who was the one who put that out about me? And usually it's them helicopter people. You know what I'm saying? These is folks that ain't fully invested in your life, but they won't go on and leave you alone. They won't go off, they won't move along, they won't stay in helicopter around your life. Look at what you're doing. And then if it's something that they don't agree with, then they jump out at you. Right? Let me tell you what I mean. So we had this young lady. She was new to my page, new to my YouTube page. Now I'm gonna tell you something. I make no qualms about what we discuss on my YouTube page. Everybody that's on that page understand that that's a page for men, by men, especially for black men. And if that some kind of way, if that harms your conscience, I want you to unsubscribe now, because that's not gonna change anytime soon. I'm talking about men, black men in particular, because that's my experience. I can't talk about white men or Asian men or Hispanic men. I can't talk about them because I don't know their experience. I know that as a man, there are certain things that we share in common, but I don't know their experience. I can't speak in entirety about their experience, but I can speak about mine. And I can speak about those who look like me and have to go through the same things I go through. But anyway, this particular young lady come on my page, and she has a problem with some of the things that I say. So one of the things that she left as a message for me, she said that white supremacy doesn't have to work to break up the black family. Say the black man is doing that all by himself. Now, of course, you know I ain't gonna agree with that bull. And the reason why I'm not agreeing with it is because I'm for families. Most of the guys I know are for families, and I know that's anecdotal, but the majority of guys that I know that are on this level, they for families. And what I mean by on this level, I mean they're men, not males. They're men. They taking care of their responsibility. You can see them going to work every morning, man, coming home to their family at night. These are men. They putting in the work, so they deserve that kind of respect. And then she went on to talk about how it was that Malcolm X made the statement that black women are the most unprotected on the planet. And then she went on to say that that's the reason why black men need to step up.
The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman. And as Muslims, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us to respect our women and to protect our women. And the only time a Muslim really gets real violent is when someone goes to molest his woman. We will kill you for our woman. I'm making it plain, yes. We will kill you for our woman. We believe that if the white man will do whatever is necessary to see that his woman gets respect and protection, then you and I will never be recognized as men until we stand up like men and place the same penalty over the head of anyone who puts his filthy hands out to put in the direction of our women.
Okay, hold on. We got a problem. Houston, we got a problem. Let me tell you why. First of all, that is one of the most misapplied statements that exists on the face of the planet. And that's not me blowing it up to be something that it's not. That statement is always misconstrued. Because let me tell you something. Malcolm was not talking about undisciplined, unyielding women who don't believe in submission. He wasn't talking about them women. He had seen them women his whole life. Them women his whole life. Who did he marry? He married someone that believed the same thing that he believed. Someone who was submissive. Someone who was disciplined. Because the nation made her that way. The Nation of Islam made him and her that way. So how is it that you got these women running around who have not submitted themselves to anything, let alone a higher power, and they're not disciplined? Because every time you talk to them, they getting upset. They waving their hands in the air. They doing all kind of disrespectful stuff, and you want protection, right? And then let's go a little bit further. You hear that statement all the time now, and you can't get mad at me because I know you didn't heard this statement. I don't need a man. I might want a man, but I don't need a man. So if you stand up in front of a person, let's say for instance, let's take man out of it. Let's say for instance, you stood up in front of a police officer. You stood up in front of him and say, "Oh, I don't need you. I don't need you." And then you walk on down the street and somebody mug you. What would you think the police officer would do? Well, based upon the statement that you made, he'd let you get mugged. You know why? Because you said you don't need him. You don't need him. You don't need him to protect you. You don't need him to make sure that everything is safe. You don't need him. But what do you think that police officer would do? Because that's his duty. Because that's his job as a police officer, he'd come to your aid. But you don't think in the back of his mind he still had that notion that you said you didn't need him? So it's the same thing today. And that's not just with black men. That's with all men. That's the going phrase now, that I don't need no man. I don't need name. And I've never understood that. Because if you don't need a man, how are you going to have a family? How you going to have a community? Because see, listen, we already know. Single parent households, we have the statistics in that show that single parent households are among the poorest demographics, right? And they produce some of the worst outcomes for their children. So we already passed that. That's foolishness. If you happen to be a single parent because you chose to be a single parent, then that's something you're going to have to bear. I encourage families, nuclear families, husband, wife, children. I encourage that. I encourage it because that's what I have seen to work. I've seen that to work. But I do understand that in the course of time, if somebody decides that this doesn't work for them, they have the option to change their mind. I understand that, especially if infidelity is involved. But let's get back to the subject. So now she evidently had some kind of stake in what it is I put on my platform, right? So I asked her, I wanted to know from her, if the leaders of the community, the black community, are women, why is the community in such turmoil? She was talking about how black men are, more responsible for the violence that goes on inside the community. Black men are more responsible for abandoning children. Black men are more responsible for just the negative overtone that everybody have of the black community. But yet and still, these kind of women who say they don't need no man, they produce the same men that they hate. You think about it. What teaches a person discipline? What teaches a person discipline? In the Moynihan report, one of the things that I picked up on and I'm going to take with me is that the family is the basic socializing unit. What does that mean? The socializing unit helps a person when they're younger to understand how they should conduct themselves in society. Who is the individual who most of the time is tasked with going out into society, mingling, getting resources and bring them back? The father. So when you cut the father out of that equation, you have handicapped the family. Because in the future, when the boy becomes an adult, if you have a son, he's not going to know how to behave himself unless you have put in his life individuals who show him how a man is supposed to behave in society. And then you're going to handicap the girl because now she doesn't know what to look for in regard to a suitable mate. So what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? I'm fighting for men because it's our responsibility to raise our families. That's our responsibility. And for the guys that's not doing it, you know I'm not with you. I'm not with you. I'm going to hold your feet to the fire. But now, if it's a situation where you want to denigrate men, I don't care what color they are. If you want to come in and you want to castigate men, I got a problem with you. And if you come to my page or you come to my vicinity, I'm going to let you know I got a problem with you. Because if your opinion of men is negative, then you have not looked around. You hadn't looked around. Everybody that's within our agenda is not out to hurt you. Everybody that's in our agenda is not out to take advantage of you. There are some of us who are working hard every day to build a foundation for a family and for our loved ones. You're not going to come in and talk crazy about them. I'm just not going to do that. I'm not going to do it. You go to your platform, you go to your friends, you go to wherever you are, as long as you keep that away from me. Hard-working, courageous, self-sacrificing men who out here doing what it takes to make sure that their family and the ones around them are okay. If you talking about them, you talking about me. And if you talking about me, I'm taking it personally. I'm taking it personally. Because it's time that folks stop doing that. This is not a patriarchy. That's not what this is. People keep referring to things. They use terms like that. It's an oppressive patriarchy. Or they say, oh, well, you know, men ain't nothing. Or they trash. So you mean tell me that once you have a son, if you're fortunate enough to have one, and he is in your life, you're going to perpetuate this stereotype to him? That he ain't nothing? That he trash? That there's something inherently wrong with him? Then I got the question, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Did that strike a nerve, that comment that lady left with me? Absolutely did, because I'm talking to you about it now. But here's the thing. In life, there are situations that present themselves that give you an opportunity to stand on what you believe. This is one of those opportunities. I'm standing on what I believe. The divine pattern for families was husband, wife, children. The husband would answer to Christ, Christ would answer to the Almighty. If you're not about that, if you don't believe in that, don't come around me with that foolishness, man. Because no matter what people say, no matter what they do, no one has submitted to me anything that works better than that. Nobody has. You're not going to come up with anything that works better than that. And the reason why the situation in our community is the way it is because people don't believe in that anymore. I told that lady, I said, you have no spiritual integrity. Because if you had any spiritual integrity, you understand where you were placed. This is where you were placed. And it's not because you're less of a person, but it's because you one of the things that fall under the protection of a man. When man was created, that's what his job was. He was a protector and a provider. And he was supposed to take care of the earth. But everything that came after him, as far as human beings were concerned, was his responsibility to take care of. But I can't take care of you if you ain't going to submit. I can't take care of you if you ain't going to cooperate. I can't take care of you if when I ask you to do something for your safety, you think I'm trying to take control of you. I can't take care of you. Those are the things I think is missing. I think that there's a lot of pride involved. And until individuals are willing to face their own pride, they can't judge nobody else. Because you operating from a place that's incorrect. If you operating out of pride, I guarantee the decision that you make going to end up hurting people instead of helping them. Don't try me. I'm not the one. Peace.